10 tonight. Hundreds of potentially hazardous abandoned wells have been identified across the state, many right here in southern Arizona.
So the Department of Environmental Quality tells N4 Tucson investigators they are working to fix this problem. And our chief investigative reporter, Chris Nylander, explains in tonight's N4 Tucson investigation.
Well, this map right here indicates all of these so-called orphaned wells the state's already identified. It's a moving target, but something the Arizona Department of Environmental Quality wants to address quickly.
There could be a hidden danger lurking around your neighborhood and you wouldn't even know it. The Arizona Department of Environmental Quality is trying to shine a light on what it calls orphaned wells.
So the well has not been properly plugged and abandoned, so that means it's open to the atmosphere. So it may be leaking emissions from the ground, such as carbon dioxide.
Daniel Chekalinski is an air quality director for the Arizona Department of Environmental Quality. He says these open wells risk injuring someone, but will more likely cause harm to the environment. They're finding hundreds of them.
We identified 246 wells across the state that were potentially orphaned.
That number constantly growing, dozens just in southern Arizona. These aren't just water wells, but chemical, natural gas, and other types of wells. You can see all the identified wells by the dots on this map, like one here near Reed Park in Tucson and near this corner in Wilcox. This woman, who wants to go by the name Jenny, lives near one of the orphaned wells in Wilcox.
I've seen a natural gas explosion before and what that can do, let alone a gasoline. Something catches on fire underground. If there's an issue with any of those abandoned things, they should be looking into it.
But ADEQ says gas is an unlikely issue in Arizona.
And the types of wells that we see in Arizona are primarily exploration wells for potash or fertilizer, such as potassium, and also exploratory wells for helium, because that is the largest commodity right now in Arizona.
Last year, ADEQ was awarded a $25 million grant to identify and plug the open wells. Chekalinski says it's a long, complex process.
We expect our contractors that we hired to go out in the communities, actually locate the wells, look at the wells, confirm that they are orphaned and not properly plugged, look at potential site remediations, and work with landowners and property owners to ensure that we have access to properly plug and abandon those wells.
If we're going to address the climate issues, then this is something that we need to do.
Sandy Barr with the environmental group Sierra Club wants to see the state take more steps to punish those responsible for abandoned wells and prevent this from happening again.
Let's put funding into preventing pollution, from preventing these types of situations in the future. Let's hold polluters accountable.
The Arizona Department of Environmental Quality says not to expect any boots on the ground actually plugging these wells until at least the end of the summer. If you have a story you'd like us to investigate, email us at investigators@KVOA.com or call our tip line at 520-955-4444. Investigating for you, Chris Nylander, N4 Tucson.